Hello, my lovely duckies, and welcome to the Boneyard. And as always, I'm your host, Caster. Today, I thought I would have a special video for you today. Today, we're going to do a tutorial. And what are we going to do? We're going to try to recap this Game Gear. And hopefully, whether you are a veteran at repairing things or if this is your first time, maybe, just maybe, you might get something out of this video. And if this is your first time repairing something, don't worry, ducky. I'm going to try to hold your hand the whole way through. I'm going to try to articulate everything to you very simply, and hopefully you'll have enough confidence to repair something on your own. And believe me, ducky, when you finally get this repaired on your own, you're going to have a sense of pride that I hope I can give you. Oh, ducky, there's nothing like turning this thing on for the first time and it works. And it's because of what you did. So, let's get into the video, shall we? Alright, Ducky, so here we are with the Game Gear. Now, keep in mind, this is not my typical workstation. My desk is actually pretty cluttered, and I don't feel like filming it, don't feel like cleaning it up right now, because it's kind of a mess. But anyways, plus I also have my rubber screw mat that I use to actually repair on, and I have everything set to where I want it, and I'm actually in the middle of another repair, and I don't want to mess with anything right now, so we're going to use this little makeshift desk here, but, I don't normally use this. Actually have a pretty good workspace. That's what you really want, okay? Now, we're going to go over the first diagnostics of what we're going to do, just troubleshooting to find out what's wrong with it. And also, we're going to go over some tools, basic tools that you're going to need. If you're a veteran, just bear with us. Skip ahead if you need to. But this is, I'm going to go over this for the newbies out there, okay? We all got to start somewhere. All right, so let's get into it. So we got this blue one here. We got scratches on the back here that suck. This didn't come with it. I got this actually today. Isn't that nice? About $10, yeah. So anyways, it did not come with battery covers either, but I would suggest, you can always buy battery covers, but I would suggest that you would, if you're going to buy a Game Gear, try to make sure that you get with battery covers, because it's a hassle, but they do sell them, but it's just, I don't know. You get what you can get, right? So, other than that, I have not opened this up, so this is going to be, a surprise on the inside. So let's go ahead and pop this game in. And I don't have batteries, I did, and one of the little ones, I let them play my Game Gear, and I come back and I find out that they've gone on to something else, and just decided to leave it on, and pretty much just killed that batteries that I had. So good thing I have this cable here. And by the way, this is a Sega Genesis Model 2 cable. You can't use a Model 1, but yeah, the adapter for the Sega Genesis Model 2 you can use. And I believe the 3 uses also the same adapter, so you can use these. I share this between my Game Gear and Sega, Sega Genesis. So let's go ahead and plug it in and see what we got, shall we? So as you can see, we got these screens here, or these lines in the screen. That's, pretty good sign, because it does power on. We got, looks like it's doing something. Oh, look at that. We got sound. So we got sound, and as you can see, the screen's kind of moving on the way like it's playing a game. So yeah, this is going to be just capacitors. So if you get your Game Gear and you turn this on and you're like, oh my god, it's ruined. No, we just replace the capacitors and it'll be just fine, ducky. Everything's going to be okay. So this is actually a really good sign. I think we might be able to see something in there. I'm not sure. Maybe I press something. I thought maybe I could see some of the game or something, but all right. So anyways, without further ado, let's move on, shall we? So This is going to be a pretty good repair. Just from that, I'm already excited. So let's go ahead and put this over here, shall we? All right, let me get a... All right, so now let's get into some of the tools that you're going to need. All right, so put this to the side. Good microfiber cloth is always good, and I have this really just so I can lay my screws and stuff down. But good, nice microfiber cloth is always good to have. Now, some of the tools that I like to have is one, you're going to need a soldering iron. There's no way around it, Ducky. And I use this right here. I got this off of Amazon, actually, in a kit. And it's, I think it was like $17, $20 right now. It's not that bad. Usually have it set to about 325. You know, this one here, you can set the temperature and everything. And really, that's all you need. Just something to, you know, you don't really need a whole big station. Those are nice to have. Now, I'm not knocking them. So if you got one, good on you, Dougie. Really proud about that. But you know, if you're trying to go on a budget, these are actually pretty good. I've been using this one for over a year, and as long as you keep this this tip pretty good, you're good to go. And it does come with multiple tips and stuff, so pretty good. Also, try to get yourself an alligator clip stand, like this one here. I got has like a light on it and a magnifying glass, which is really good for getting all those, like, you know, nice little details. And yeah, I got the cable right here. I like keeping the cable in the alligator grip. But you know, you need it also someplace to put your soldering iron. And this one came with a stand, but I like having this with the magnifying glass. And yes, I know this magnifying glass is backwards. I was trying to fix the light doesn't stay on. I was trying to fix it, and I accidentally screwed it on backwards, and I haven't got around to to fixing it. Anyways, Dougie. So yeah, this is pretty good, cheap soldering iron. It works pretty good. But if you want to get something more expensive, like Hako or something, go right ahead, Dougie. But you know, now without that, you know, if you're gonna have soldering iron, you need solder. So this Mayim right here, I like using this right here. This is off Amazon. It's not that very expensive. This is rosin core solder, by the way. So it has, this solder actually has inside of it, it actually has flux in it. So I would still use flux, but this right here is pretty good for like really little small things. And it's not the end of the world if you don't use flux with this, but I would just go ahead and use flux, especially for like a little bit bigger things. But a lot of times, really, with capacitors, if the pads are looking pretty good, you probably won't need it. But if you're really paranoid about it, there's no wrong time to use flux. It's kind of like pudding. There's no wrong time for pudding. And the same with flux. Now, speaking of flux, this is pretty good right here. This is a no clean flux pen. Okay? And this is pretty good for like what we're doing. If you want to use the actual like the kind that's more gelatinous, I'm not really sure what you'd call that, but or you want to use like any kind of other flux, that's up to you, Ducky. But this is pretty good. I think this was like $10, and this is by Kester. And this is actually not Kester, and this is actually really good. It says no clean, but you know, I'd take some alcohol to it after you get done. But if it's not burnt off, but try not to leave flux, even if it's no clean. Try not to leave flux on the board. And also, when you are soldering, make sure you have plenty of ventilation. So when you you know, you don't breathe in these caustic fumes, because when this stuff, because you know, you're going to be putting some heat to this, and it's going to start to burn away, and you're going to get some smoke. Make sure you got, you know, plenty of ventilation. You don't want to breathe that stuff in, Ducky. All right, so let me try to speed this up a little bit. But first and foremost, let's see here. Let's see here. So basic tools that you're going to need is you're going to need the soldering iron, the flux, and all that stuff. But okay, you're going to need yourself a screwdriver. I like having this one, this little screwdriver here. for like the smaller screws, and I use this one for like the bigger screws because I can get more torque. Because sometimes those screws on the outer are like, you know, really tight. And then also you're going to need this. You're going to need a game bit. Now this, what this does is it opens up the security bit right here. Don't use, Ducky, don't use a pair of pliers, please. Please. They're like $3 on eBay. Go get one. I mean, come on. You get like both sizes that you need. And this works perfectly in opening it up, all right? So anyways. So, let me just go ahead and just set these right here. Also, try to get everything ESD safe, if you can. Electrostatic discharge. Try to get it ESD safe so you don't cause a short. I got these pair of pliers that I like using. And then also, I like a pair of little wire cutters. I use these to snip leads off of capacitors. And then also, I don't like using a sponge, but I like using this right here. Basically, this is steel wool. And what you'll do is when you get, you know, when you want to clean your tip off, you just kind of dip it in there and give it a good rub around. And then you clean your tip off, because you're going to always need a really good clean tip. And then also another thing is you're going to need a toothbrush to clean the board, especially if there's like if the capacitors have leaked, which is probably going to happen. If there's a lot of corrosion on the board, you can clean up with alcohol. And the best thing I like to do is get one of these little dispensers here. These are very, very helpful. And what you do is you just pop it a couple times, and you just get it, and it just makes a little pool right there, and you just get it wet, and then you can just go off and just start rubbing. Ooh, I got a cut there. So anyways, try to use at least 70% isopropyl alcohol, but the closer you can get to 100 is the best. Try to get like at least, I would go and get like 90 to like 99%. I believe this is like 91%, which is weird. Let me see the bottle. Yeah, this is like 91%. You can pick this up at Walmart. This is actually pretty good. The closer you can get to 100 is better, but this will do good. You can get this in the first aid section. But if you have 70, that's pretty good too. The idea is that you don't want, this thing is mixed with water, and so it's 91% alcohol and then like 9% water. So, you know, you want to try to get that water content down, especially for electronics, because, you know, it evaporates quicker, you know, and you don't want water on your components. So try to get the highest you can. All right, so let's get into the meat potatoes of this. So let's open it up and see what we got here. All right, so we're going to use our screw here. We'll start with this one. Oh, that's on there tight. All right, there we go. And so we got our security screw out. We'll put that right there. And then I'm going to start getting these out. And if you got an electric screwdriver, that's fine. I just don't have one. I just prefer these kind of screwdrivers. But if you want to get like a little, you know, little electric screwdriver, that's fine, Decky. I mean, they'll probably go quicker too if you have that. So I think that one's all the way out. That one's got a little bit of something on it. I don't like it. Yeah, it's got a little bit of something on there, but hopefully it's not bad. Hopefully it's just dirt and grime and not corrosion. So let's get this one in here. And there are 6 screws. 2 in the back, 2 in the battery compartment, and then 2 on the front here. You want to try to get them up as high as you can. There we go. Screw them out as high as you can get them. Hopefully that can be like the Bob Ross of repairing Game Gears. Alright, so we're going to open it up, and let's see here. Oh boy. What do we got here? Well, first off, let's shake these out. Do we have all the screws? Oh, no, we don't. We got Get out of here. All right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're missing one. Which one are we missing? Oh, this one right here. Come on, get out of there. This one's going to cause me troubles. All right, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Get out of there. What is wrong with this thing? There. It wasn't like screwed in, it was just stuck here. I don't know. Alright, so anyways, let's get all this crap out of the way. So let's open it up and see what we got here, shall we? So, yeah. Look at that. So anyways, let's go ahead and, so what you want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and unplug all the cables up here that connect this second shell right here. Okay. And there we go. Now, like with everything, you want to be firm but gentle. You don't want to use a whole lot of force here because you could rip these cables out. So this right here, this cable is the speaker cable. This one goes to the soundboard. This one goes to the power board. And actually, you know what? It doesn't look that bad, actually. Doesn't look that bad. Soundboard actually looks really good. And I mean, it should because we had some sound. But we're going to place those capacitors anyways. And so these two boards work. The soundboard and the power board do work. But we're going to change the capacitors anyways. It doesn't matter. And then here's all the capacitors we got here. So this is a single ASIC board. You can tell because it has a single processor chip. It doesn't have two. Okay. Now, if you can see right here, this little crap right here, do not worry with this stuff on here. I don't know why they put adhesive on here, but they got this adhesive right here. If you, when you lift these up, don't worry, Dougie, it's going to come right up, and then you can just scrape it away. All right, so actually, let me look at these. These pads actually look really good. Probably won't do much to this. And as you can see over here, what it says right here, this is a, let's see if I can get that light. It's a V1 board, okay? And it's made in Taiwan, USA board. Yeah, this is a VA1 board. So this is going to be actually a pretty good repair. I love VA1 boards. All right, now, if you're like, you may, what I would do is I would go ahead and get a capacitor kit. When you repair these. Now me, I have I have all my capacitors and I have them all like labeled and everything. And yeah, so I'm not, there's a few that don't have them in there, but I have spares over here. I just haven't put them in here. But yeah, I have, this is my pretty much everything in here. I got membranes, buttons, just little doodads. I got solder wick in here, and here's all some extra stuff, and a bag of like capacitors. These are 25 microfarads, 35 volt. I need those. But yeah, since I repair so many, I just went ahead and bought all the ones I need. But if you're just going to repair one or two, just buy a kit, and it'll have everything you need in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this. So the shielding here, you want to get rid of that. Actually, what am I using that for? Let's use this screwdriver. So go ahead and get this shielding up. There's 4 screws here. go ahead and get this power board out. We'll go ahead and pull this power board out. And we'll go ahead and remove this, or excuse me, that's the soundboard, I'm sorry. This is and we're going to get the power board. And it's just two to hold these in. And you can, don't have to worry about it, because these small screws are all the same size. So the only really screws that are two different sizes is these black ones that are on the ones that hold the case, the security screw, and then all these like golden colored screws. They're the same size. So if you mix them up, it doesn't matter. And then what I like doing is I like keeping this little black flap here on the power board. So raise that up, and you're going to very carefully try to slide this up this little pole. All right. Come on now. All right, and then we're going to take the power button off. All right, so there we have the soundboard. So there's the volume wheel and the headphone jack. All right, and those are the surface mount capacitors. Okay. And there's the actual sound chip right there. So that's the audio board. And this is the power board. There's your switch right there. And there's the jack right there. And this is where you'd have the batteries right here. So we're going to replace all 5 of these surface mount capacitors, and we're going to replace these 3 ones right here. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now, there is, I will put a link in the description on getting started here. Go to, I think it's console5.com. I'll actually have the link in the description, and it'll give you a link to their schematic page, and it'll show you everything you need to know about what capacitors are what, and the orientations and everything. So just don't get confused. For those who are new, you'll know the positive and negative side of the capacitor by this stripe on the side. So the parts that have the black stripe are the negative sides. So that's how you know. And then with these surface mount capacitors, it's the same thing. As you can see right there, see those little stripes on the side? Like how that one has that white, that big one here has this white stripe. That's the negative lead. So that's how you do it, or that's how you know which is positive and negative. All right, so now what I normally like to do is so I'm going to leave this actually in the shell, okay? And then normally, I mean, you can take it out if you want, but I don't like working on it with the screen facing down on the surface. Even if I have something underneath of it, I just don't feel comfortable. I feel like I'm going to scratch the screen. So I usually just go ahead and work it within the shell. And then when I need to take something out, that's when I, after I get everything completed, that's when I'll pull this out and, get on the other side. Unless there's something, that's trouble, then I won't, don't even bother, then I'll bother. But yeah, so let's get right into repairing this, shall we? All right, Dougie, let's get into repairing this. So now, I'm not going to show every single thing on here. I'm not going to repair on camera, I'm not going to repair every capacitor. I'm going to show you a couple, and then you just, repeat the process. So to get up these capacitors, we have these 3 here, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to show you how to get these up, and you just repeat that. Now you'll notice the orientation that you'll see on there. Maybe not be able to see on here, but there should be a plus side on there, and a lot of these capacitors, if we can get some of these right here, these capacitors will have plus and minuses on them, so you can tell which orientation of the leads that you need. Okay, but a lot of times they will have plus and minuses on the board itself. Again, you can use console 5, have it on your phone next to you, and you can just use that for reference. It will have it'll have a schematic and show you like what capacitors go where on the board that you're repairing, because you may not be using a single one. You may be using a twin ASIC or a VA4 board, and that's the thing is V4 and a V5 board are a bit different and a little tricky. But the twin ASIC V1s and the twin ASIC or the single ASIC V1s are pretty much almost identical to repair. The layout of the capacitors is a little different, but it's all the same thing. V4s, V5s are a little bit different. So anyways, let's get into it. So these capacitors, some people will actually just go ahead and start, desoldering it by, getting these up here. But what I do is I take a pair of pliers, and this is the quickest way, honestly. Take your pair of pliers and just grab this capacitor. I don't know if you can see or not. And just very gently, firmly but gently, just move to the side. You'll hear it crack. Okay? Let's see if you can hear this one over here. That's that little crack sound. You've loosened the glue up that holds this down here. So let's get this one too. These are all the same kind of capacitor. They're all, I believe, what does it say on here? They are 10 microfarad, 16 volt, and there's another one over here on this there, but we'll get these three up. So now they should be ready to get up. So what I do is, as you can see, I bent it upwards, and then what I'll do is I'll work it back and forth until it just pops off like that. And there you go. Same with this one. Working back and forth. There you go. Working back and forth. There you go. All right, and now the leads will be stuck. Now let's get this little bit of glue up here. We'll pull that up there. Let me get my pair of oh, the thing's so disorganized. Where's my tweezers? I just had my tweezers. Where are they? Alright, well anyways, we'll come back to this. So, you'll see these, the leads are still stuck on those pads. So what I'll do, let's go ahead and get our soldering iron ready. So what I do is take your soldering iron, okay? Now this is very hot, don't touch it now. You can tell it's red. So we're going to just get a little bit of, you'll see a little bit of smoke there. Just get that on there, just a little bit, just a little dab. If you can see that. And then we're just going to take it on the pad real quick. Now you don't want to be on the pad too long, okay? Because you might lift these pads up. So get on that pad and just, get it wet, and you just kind of like lift it up. Get this one lifted up. I get those leads off, and then I'll just, right there. I got and there we go. Okay. And same here. And I got the two leads on the end of that tip there. Just like that. And I will come back to this one in a second, because that rubber is really pissing me off. Man, that's on there really tight. Okay, I got enough of it off, I think. Okay, we're doing this live, Dougie, so we're going to get problems. All right, and then here, and make sure you don't touch that. There we go. Make sure you don't touch that chip there, right there. Okay, so as you can see, now they're off. Okay, And now those pads look pretty good. Now, if these pads were dirty, it wouldn't be that simple. And what you would do is you would get your alcohol. And it doesn't matter because, I mean, it's clean. So, but what you do is if there's electrolyte fluid on there, what you'd want to do before you even did what I was doing just now, you would take your brush, and you don't need a whole lot of alcohol, just a little bit. I think I'm shaking the camera there. But yeah. And you would just clean these pads. Just clean them off real good. Try to get as much of that crap off. Now you could take a hobby knife and maybe like lightly scrape it off if it's not coming off. But try to use the alcohol first to get it loosened up. You know, I would take like an X-Acto knife and try to like very gently, like barely even touching it with the tip of the knife and just kind of scraping it off there and then continue rubbing with this, you know, to get it up. But these pads look absolutely amazing, and you may get one like this. So these are pretty good. All right, so now, again, I'm not going to do the whole board for you. You'll just, you know, rinse and repeat basically. So let's go ahead and get our flux pen. And we're going to press down on with it here. Let me get it nice and wet with flux. And, you know, if you have a different kind, you know, flux, you can do that. But this one you kind of like push down. And so now we got it wet with flux. And then what I like to do is some people like to do there's different methods people like to do. So for these, what I do is, I actually like to turn this around. For me, let's see here. Now we'll do this one. Okay, so this side's the positive side. The side that's more on this side is the positive side. The side that's on this side is the negative side. So what we'll do is we'll take our capacitor here, and we'll align it just the same way. So it'll be like this on here, where we have the positive side here and the negative side on this side. So this is the perfect alignment. So what I like doing, Ducky, is I like bending these leads down like this, and then bending them up a little bit like this. So they kind of look something like this, okay? And then I'll take my wire cutters and cut, not too much, but like right there, and we'll cut them. And so we're left with something a little like this, okay? Something like that. And then what we'll do is we'll take our soldering iron. Actually, no, we'll take our rosin core solder, take our soldering iron, and we'll just very gently, here's what you want to do. You want to put this on the pad and this kind of touching the pad. And you want to always want to hold your solder like this. So you might want to get like a little bit of length of it and hold it like this. And you don't want to use a lot, just like a bead. Just a real quick bead, there we go. Real quick bead, there we go. Just like that, just a very tiny little bit. And this will actually last you a long time. So, like that. So we've got the pads already prepped. And then what we'll do is we'll take this and hold it very carefully and just get like one lead. Get it liquid, pull away. Hold it until it's solidified. Now one lead has been solidified, so we'll do the other lead. Get it liquid, put the lead right in there, pull back. That's all you got to do. And then you kind of push down. And guess what, Ducky? That capacitor has been replaced on that one. And that's all you got to do. And it's pretty simple. Just basically get this solder real liquid, put the lead in there, and bam, there you go. Just make sure it's the right orientation, and you have the right the right kind of, you know, make sure it's the right capacitor too. So we'll do another one. So these ones are facing the opposite way. So we're going to do it the opposite way. So this side negative here, this side positive. And we're going to do it the exact same way. So we're going to bend down, bend up to make like that. Get close enough. You don't want to, you'll eyeball this yourself, but you don't want to get too far away. You don't want to get too close, and you don't want to have too much. Okay? And then you can kind of like bend them to how, you know, then you can bend them to like the length you need to put them on the pads. And then I like turning them around here. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. And going to put our, on the pad there, touch it. It's going to turn liquid. Put a little solder there. Just a little tiny bead. Little tiny bead. There we go. That's it. That wasn't so bad now, was it, Ducky? And then we'll take this. Take one lead here. And we'll get this molten. Stick the lead in there. Pull it back. Kind of hang on to it till it solidifies. It takes like 5 seconds. So it's already like on there. And then we'll make this liquid again. Put that on there, and there we go. And there's another one done. Rinse and repeat, Ducky. That's all you really need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead, and we'll see what we got here. All right? You can do it, Ducky. I believe in you. All right there, Ducky. So now we got the capacitors all replaced. As long as the leads are, you know, the negative is touching the negative and the positive is on the positive, you're fine. You know, if they're not in the same way, because this capacitor normally faces over here, but since this is so big, you know, the Game Gear won't close if it's if this is on this side, because these components kind of push it up a little bit. So as long as like the negative is touching, you know, the negative is in the negative spot and the positive is in the positive spot, you're fine. You know, you can have them different ways. These ones fit really nice in there, and so that's it. You know, just put a little blob there and put the lids in there, and you're fine. I mean, it's not that hard, right? Come on, Duck. It's not that far. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a confidence boost here. So since this power board, I have not replaced the capacitors, but since it did work, we're going to go ahead and see what we got here. So we're kind of jumping the gun a little bit, but you know, I just wanted to show you what things look like. So let's go ahead and turn this on, and look at that, Ducky. Look at that. Nice and repaired. And it wasn't that hard. Look at there. Let's go ahead and insert it. And yep, so the main board is done. You've got the bulk of it done already. So I'm going to actually cut this into 2 videos. Part 1 and a part 2. And what we're going to do is because I don't want this video to be super, super long. But don't worry, Ducky. Part 2 is going to have the soundboard and the power board. And that shouldn't be a very long video. And we'll get it out really, really fast. Don't worry. I'm going to release them back to back. And so if you're watching this video, part 2 will already be up. All right, Ducky. Look how good that is, Ducky. That looks so good. Even with this like scuffed up plastic screen, you know, still looks pretty damn good. So anyways, Ducky, head over to part 2, and we're going to go ahead and get that soundboard and that power board fixed. And then we're going to go ahead and get your Game Gear all ready to play. All right, Ducky. See you then.